first is to address what I think is pretty much the number one cluster causer right now in the last month, and that is travel. When we look at the clusters that we have, it is travel to Myrtle Beach, travel to Myrtle Beach, travel to Florida to a beach, travel to another South Carolina beach, travel to a different beach. And I've been up here, admittedly, I've been begging and pleading for people not to go when we know how much has been brought back. And sadly, a person will go to the beach, a place where 1 in 5 people are testing positive, and they'll come back and they'll go to work, and then they'll go to church, and then they'll do a number of other things, and it spreads throughout those areas too, and can shut down the work. It can really impact the church, and it's something that we've got to take stronger steps towards. So today, we're putting out a travel advisory where we are asking for anyone who goes to a state that has over a 15% positivity rate to quarantine for 14 days when they come back. This is a request for each of the individuals, but folks, 15% is really dangerous. It's not like we put the line where this group suggests you stop reopening. That's at 5%. What this means is these are areas where right now this virus is uncontrolled, and I'm not blaming any of these areas. Actually, Mississippi's Governor Tate Reeves was on the call today, and you could hear the pain. He cares about his people. This has happened really fast, and I want the absolute best for everybody. But these are areas that right now we know aren't safe. You know, you look at Arizona, almost 1 in 4 individuals is testing positive there. So this is something that, again, we need people to change their plans because it's a life and death matter for this Commonwealth. And I get you need to get away. I'd love if you travel in Kentucky. It'd help us in a number of ways. I'd love if you are going to travel in Kentucky that you do it in a safe way, whether it's finding a house maybe, somewhere that you can clean when you come in. But these are absolute hot spots that right now are just dangerous, and they are seriously and significantly impacting our numbers. I believe that the high school that we talked about just on Friday that has 30+ people related to the football team in the gym, I think they can track the first case, what ultimately shut down that program for a period to a vacation. Let's make sure that we're not bringing this back into our communities. Number 2. So 1, we're seeing clusters created by travel. Number 2, we're seeing clusters created by our backyard barbecues, by our block parties, and it's because we let our guard down. We have a lot of friends over and we know them. We figure they're probably doing everything right. We take off our masks about halfway in between. We relax. We get too close. We stand around while people are grilling, and we're seeing some very difficult outcomes because of it. So for social gatherings, we had increased the amount of people that you could have up to 50. We're reducing that back down to 10. That doesn't affect any businesses, any venues, any outdoor weddings. Those are all regulated by other things that are out there, and they have licenses that give them the motivation to clean and to do the right thing. Seeing too much spread from 50 people getting together in somebody's backyard or in their neighborhood. Now, I know 10 is different, but 10 is much more manageable. It can contain the spread, and if everybody could help us out with that, again, we don't want to become Arizona or Florida. Florida is 11 to 16,000 cases a day, and we had almost 1,000 just yesterday. So this is us trying to stop this thing before it gets out of control.